time travel adventure, Chicago refuses to arrange itself in chronological order for the benefit of my tour. So as I tell you about Chicago's architecture, history, and culture, I'm also going to be bouncing us around all over the place in time, like we're in a Doctor Who episode, or perhaps Quantum Leap, if that is more your time travel TV speed. I promise I'll get us back to the present day by the very end of the tour, but for now, as the curtain comes up on the modern day city of Chicago, I'm going to throw it all the way back to the very beginning, 10,000 years ago, around the end of the last ice age. As the massive ice sheets that covered most of North America at that time melted in the direction of the river. But that became a problem for the city as it started to grow, because we were dumping all of our sewage and garbage and byproducts from the old Chicago meatpacking industry into the river, which was also flowing east into the lake, and that is where the city gets all of its drinking water from. Started to make a lot of people very sick. So in the year 1889, we called in the Army Corps of Engineers, who still control the lock in between the Chicago. Going to be a motif on this architecture tour, big Chicago names. And speaking of big names, I bet you'll never guess the name of the building coming up directly behind me. It was built in the year 2009 by a local Chicago architect named Adrian Smith. It is, of course, Trump International Hotel and Tower, which is a great example of a more recent architectural style called contextualism. If you look up the side of the building, you'll see 3 flat patios ascending the tower. Those are called setbacks. Each one of these setbacks corresponds with the height of one of the other buildings around Trump Tower. The first setback is the same height as the roof of the Wrigley Building underneath its clock tower. The second setback corresponds with the height of this building off the left-hand side of the boat with the dome up on top of it. That's the Jewelers Building, which was featured in the Christopher Nolan Batman films. That is Gotham City Courthouse, and it was used as a transmitter by the Decepticons in Transformers: Dark of the Moon. The third and tallest of Trump Tower's setbacks is the same height as AMA Plaza, the black boxy building, just starting to peek out from behind Trump Tower right now. But if you look directly off the right-hand side of the boat, you'll see this wavy pattern in the first few floors of Trump Tower. That is another contextualist feature at the houses and sofas. Now, as we finish passing the merchandise mart, we're headed into an area of the river known as Wolf Point. This is where the main branch of the Chicago River, which we've been on so far, meets the north branch, which runs up to the right, and the south branch, which heads down to the left. Nowadays, Wolf Point is a modern focal area of contextualist architecture. We're surrounded by these shiny glass towers, each one reflecting the others around it, so that it looks like we're at the bottom of a glass canyon. Now, this tower coming up directly behind me has an archway cut out of the bottom, and another arch cut out. The windows are perfectly round, just like the portholes on a boat. Now, as we pass underneath the Kinzie Street Bridge off the left-hand side of the boat, you will get a great view of the Kinzie Street townhomes, which last I checked also sell for just about $2 million. And once you have paid, and cerveza, also made from grain. Grains are great. You can do so much with them. And of course, the bar is still open at the back of the boat if you require a cerveza of your own. You may also recognize the Chicago Board of Trade from a different Batman film. That's Wayne Enterprises in Batman Begins, and it was featured in a scene in Ferris Bueller's Day Off where they visit the trading floor. But the one thing you must not put on a Chicago-style hot dog is ketchup. There's another local law that says if we catch you putting ketchup on your Chicago dog, you'll be loaded into a catapult and launched into Lake Michigan. It's a lie, I just lied to you. You won't get arrested and talking to, though, that's real. There's so many great flavors already on a Chicago-style hot dog. Why would you drown them all out in sugary tomato paste? No need for something like that. There's tomatoes on it already. I say that mostly in jest, but I did recently learn a fascinating theory as to why we stopped putting ketchup on hot dogs here in Chicago. Back in the old meatpacking days of Fulton House, it was thought that the strong, sugary flavor of ketchup could mask the taste of meat that had gone bad.